Hello everyone, welcome back to my tutorial series. In this one we're going to be going over incorporating the flying follower with the targeting system from the last episode. This was a viewer request in my Discord, and let's just jump straight into it. So, first we're going to go into the content blueprints folder, then we're going to find the AI, and we're going to find BP_follower, we're going to right click, and we're going to say create child blueprint class. This is going to be, say, BP_target follower. And the first things first, what we can do is we can change the color to like a green emissive or something similar. Anything you like, just to differentiate them a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to open up our BP_follower. And this is so we can take this velocity update tick code here. So I'm just going to copy this for now, and then we'll go into our event graph and we will paste it. So if we go back into BP_follower and we find the name of this is velocity update tick. So this is a custom event we created in that module, and it's based off the tick rate. So what we're going to do here is we're essentially going to repurpose this code. So what we can do is find that name, velocity update tick, and we can come here and type velocity update tick. And you want to make sure you click the add event, not the call function. So we're going to add event. Now we have this event again. And now what we can do is we can right click and we can say add a call to parent function. So I'm going to leave this just like this for now. And so what this parent function does is, you'll see there's also one for begin play. We're going to actually keep this here. And what the parent function does is, since target follower is a child of BP follower, it means that this is the parent. So when we're calling the parent begin play, what we're doing is we're calling all this code here. And likewise, when we call the parent velocity update tick, we're calling all the code tied to this one. So what we're going to do is we already get the player, and if you remember in the last module, we created some functions in the third person player. So I'm going to take this variable, since it's set in the parent begin play, we can reuse it again, and we can say get player. So there you go, you see we have this exact function, and then we're going to say cast to third person player character. And now what we can do is, off of this we can say bind event to target, new target, and then one as well for bind event to target lost. Perfect. And all we're going to need to do off this is do some custom events, and we'll say new target, just copy the names here, and then custom event target lost. So for new target, we're going to promote this to a variable, which we are going to call target. And for target loss, we're just going to set it to nothing. So now all we have to do is, in our velocity update tick, we can just check, we can get our target here, hold control, place it in, and we say is valid. We want the one that's a question mark. So if the target is valid, then we're going to add our custom code that we're doing, but if the target is not valid, then we're just going to call the parent. And that's just going to make it behave like any old follower. So now we can essentially override the functionality when we do have a target in sight and we want our flying follower to move to it. So we're going to get rid of all this. We don't need any of this here. We just want to make sure the query is still valid. And we're still going to be using a lot of the same logic that we already have here. So all we need to do is, for the rinterp2, there's a handy dandy little built-in one, find look at rotation. And the start rotation, this is going to be by locations. So our start is going to be get actor location, and our target is going to be the actor location of this target variable we have here. And similarly, we can do the same thing for the offset here. So what you can do is use another select here and try that, but you're going to end up with a lot of like, say if we were to do this one is valid, and get rid of this guy right here, this is valid, and then you'd end up with a lot of errors as it tries to find the reference for this and see the true value of it when there is no actual reference to it. So doing it like this with the isValid here is the best way to go about it without accruing too many errors. And so all we need to do is we're going to get active location again, and we're going to add a vector. We're going to add 100 to it. So it'll be straight above the target. We can just plug that into the plus offset. Remember the plus offset is that little like floating movement he does when he's at the target. And all this looks good. Let's see, if you want, I'll just leave it here for a second so you can copy if you didn't do the other modules. But there are some things that you are going to need in the other one, so I will link it above again. If you haven't watched that video, please watch it. And then the last thing we're going to need is the speed here. And so for speed, all we're going to do is we're going to get our active location, and we're going to get the target's active location, and we're just going to subtract these together. And that'll give us, just like we have, I believe, right here, we're creating this like vector towards the target. We're also going to be creating a vector towards that, but this one has the speed included. So when we normalize stuff, we're essentially normalizing. So I could drag this out and get the speed, but just for the sake of being clean, what we can do is we'll do vector length here and just plug that in. So we're getting 0.9 of the distance between the two added by 150. If it's less than 200, then it'll put in 100. So if you're really close, it'll move a lot slower, but if we're really far, then it'll try its best to at least keep up. Awesome. So now we can just drag this guy in and try it out. So anything with the little star, we want to make sure we compile and save, and we're just going to drag this guy in. And let's see here. So as soon as I have a target, you should see he rushes over. He starts looking at him because we did that find look at rotation, and he's pointing to him, and when we look away, he comes right back. So yeah, it escaped my grasp for a second. Yeah, you see he comes right back. If we move, he moves a little faster, and they're kind of overlapping each other. That's because we have two targets, and as soon as we look at him, he goes straight back and back to us. Awesome. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.